Riddle me this. Why did it take this long for Sideshow to finally give us a premium format Riddler? It's the first one ever, so today we're diving in to see if this surprise release was worth the wait. Welcome everyone from What's on the Table. This is Prof G and you are watching another episode of Graded, the show where we're not just going to unbox or review a particular statue, collectible, or figure. We are actually going to give it a grade at the end of each video. So for this episode, we are going to grade the 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, the Riddler. So the question is, how is it that in all the years Sideshow has been producing DC Premium Format statues, Superman, Batman, Joker, Harley, even obscure characters, we've never gotten a Riddler. Not once! And for us DC collectors, that made Edward Nygma one of the biggest missing pieces of the entire Rogues Gallery. And we kind of felt the same way when Sideshow released the Sideshow Premium Format statue Penguin, which I believe is one of the best Penguin statues out there regardless of the scale. Do you remember that episode? I did say that I hope Riddler was next. So when Sideshow suddenly dropped this, their first ever premium format Riddler, it felt like they finally checked off a box we've all been waiting for all these years. Just a surprise reveal that instantly shook the DC collecting community. And today, we're going to find out if this long-awaited statue lives up to the hype. First and foremost, I would like to say thank you to Maxi Collector for securing me this piece. Priced at around 49,000 pesos, which is around $830. I think it's still a fair deal considering I didn't pay any shipping or customs fee. So for that, thank you to Maxi Collector for the excellent service, and thank you for giving me number 300 out of 1,000 edition size. As you can see right in front of you, we have the art box of the Sideshow Premium Format statue, the Riddler, which basically just shows you the look of the statue. Nothing fancy, came out and delivered to me with no damage, so yay for that. First impression on this packaging, I gotta say it does have some weight to it. I mean, unusually heavier than expected, but yeah, we're gonna find out soon. And as you open it up, you are gonna be greeted with only one level of styro, and in here you are gonna see right away the parts of the premium format statue. We have here the base of the Riddler. No, I tried to lift this one, then I realized this is where all the heavy weight is coming from. I am a fan of this base and we are gonna talk about this more later. We have the body of the Riddler as expected. Not so much weight on this one as presented by his body type. You have a sculpted paper which appears to be like a blueprint of the Wayne Enterprise Towers with a bunch of question marks on some of the rooms of the floor plan, so that one is kind of giving you a glimpse of the story of this piece. You have here a CRT TV, and good thing they use a CRT and not a flat screen because I think it looks better for the character. His cane, which is kind of bent. I don't know why it's bent or if that's a common issue or normal. I'm not sure yet. We are gonna find out later if it's gonna be flush in the assembly. We have the tie of Riddler, the right hand of Riddler holding a paper with some clues or a riddle actually, and a big question mark at the back. And the left hand, which holds a remote control detonator for what appears to be the explosives that Riddler installed within the Wayne Tower building. We also have this chain, a very long chain if I may add, which will be used to wrap around the drum on the base. And last but not the least, we have the head sculpt of Edward Nygma himself, the Riddler. Decent amount of attachments, no alternate switch out, very straightforward, but every element is packed with detail. So time is ticking. Let's start the assembly of this 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, the Riddler. My collector friends, this is the 1/4 scale Sideshow Premium Format statue, the Riddler. it's a good thing that I am late to the party in grading this piece because I have heard a lot of collectors either really loving it and other collectors who said that they kinda expected more. But for me, I kinda like what I see so far. This early on, I am gonna give you an answer to my initial question when we opened this episode. We asked if this Sideshow premium format Riddler was worth the wait. And I'm gonna say it, hell yeah. Man, this statue is friggin' worth the wait. I'm telling you, I understand the hype behind this one, and man, we always hear it from the other collectors that, oh, this is a must-have for a DC statue collector. Of course it is. It's the only one ever made, and I don't think I am gonna let this one slip. So, what do you think, guys? This is what we've been waiting for. Let's talk about it. First, the base. Now, first and foremost, before we go into detail about this awesome looking base, I want to point out one thing. Man, this base is kinda heavy. Heavier than I expected, actually. Not complaining though, because it does have a lot of detail on it and it does look pretty good. So good that I think this base made the statue. Now, I can argue that this base is of equal importance with the character himself. I mean, look at it. The Riddler appears to be sitting on top of a drum, which I can assume what's inside it is an ingredient for a very powerful explosive, surrounded by a lot of wires, electronics, a bunch of tools. You even have a wrench over there, gasoline, oil, the CRT TV I was telling you about a while ago, different mechanisms that seems to be homemade, all of it. Brilliantly done. And this is what I have been trying to say ever since. I really appreciate a statue base that actually has a story. Now combine all the elements of the base to this key element right here, which is the sculpted paper the Riddler is sitting on. This has a blueprint or a floor plan of Wayne Tower with a lot of question mark markers, which I can assume is a placement for either clues or different other explosives the Riddler planted. And before we forget, this is a cool feature right here. You can actually see more hidden question mark clues surrounding the different parts of the base using a UV light. I mean, if there is a character who would benefit from this feature, it's definitely the Riddler. But wait a tick, Riddler planted bombs inside Wayne Tower. Does that mean Riddler knows who Batman is? The bolts, the chains, the rusted floor, the knobs, the buttons, the wires, the tapes, all the elements on the base are painted very well. And think about this. Even if the base has a lot of elements and seems a little bit busy, the different elements have a good contrast with each other and it doesn't feel like they just put random elements there to make it look cool, you know what I mean? All the elements there serve a purpose and are executed properly. So for this base, massive thumbs up on the creative direction. Next, the body. Now for this Riddler, he has a lean, skinny build, but it doesn't give me the impression that he is weak or lanky. His body type obviously was never his main attribute in trying to make the life of Batman or Gotham a living hell. It's his brain, and I feel like this was presented perfectly in this statue. The body positioning, he has that nerdy swagger with his 1 foot stepping on the TV, that confidence of feeling that he knows what he's doing and he's really gonna break Batman this time around. It kinda gives me that impression. His right hand is holding a paper with a question mark on one side and a riddle on the other, while the left hand is holding what seems to be a detonator of some sort. Good supporting elements to build the scene of the story of this statue. Now, some people are saying that Riddler is not looking polished, or why does he have a lot of wounds or scratches? And all of those details on his suit that would have hinted that he had a little bit of physicality. Well, the way I remember him at least, he's not always polished or clean. I remember in the Arkham games, which I am a fan of, he's always dirty and sweaty, and it kinda gives you the impression that he's always working on something. New traps, new riddles, all those sort of things. So I don't mind the whole wounds or scratches on the suit, I kinda prefer it actually. So for this Edward Nigma build, it's a good balance between lean but not looking weak, wounded but appears to be having the upper hand. Last but not the least, we have the head sculpt. Alright, I'm gonna get this out of the way. Some people were wondering about the scars on the Riddler. And I am gonna say it right now, I am a fan of the look of Riddler on the Arkham games, where he looks dirty and grimy. So this look right here, it's actually kind of subtle and clean. If anything, I would put more stains on it or rub some dirt on it or something to amplify his look for the story even more. Now I remember also when they first teased this, people were talking about the paint on the eyes and eye mask. This one right here. So side by side, they made some adjustments to it, especially up to where the paint for the eye mask goes. But nothing really too dramatic of a change. But the design on the face is okay. I mean, I don't hate it. Some people say it looks like beaten down old Jim Carrey with how the mouth is shaped and the facial shape and chin. But that's okay. Jim Carrey did play the Riddler before, so I don't see anything wrong with it. Nice looking hat with a question mark, and you can even see some scratches and brush strokes over there. So these subtle details, even if it's gonna be hard to notice at first glance, I'm gonna tell you, it's well appreciated. But there is a but. We talked about the sculpt and the composition and how I like it. However, I feel like the paint on the Riddler itself is kinda desaturated. If you're gonna put it side by side with how well the base was painted and the different textures you're gonna see on the different elements of the said base, I think the base wins. The paint on the Riddler needs to pop a little bit more. The texture on the Riddler when it comes to clothing, the hat, the tie, the gloves, it's a bit flat. I mean, if those are meant to be purple leather gloves, it would have been great to have a different texture for it, compared to, let's say, his suit. I mean, texture variation is something a lot of companies are doing now on their statues, and I wish it was applied here as well. They did texture variation on older pieces already. A perfect example of this texture variation I'm talking about is the premium format Catwoman. Even though her suit is all black, you can see the variation in texture from matte leather to glossy leather, you know what I mean? But all in all, I am happy with this Riddler by Sideshow. We waited long enough, and I gotta say it did not disappoint. Sure, there are things I wanted to see on the statue that was not applied, but I'll just say it's just my personal preference. Did it ruin the statue for me? No, not really. And I'm saying that without wearing my shiny new statue goggles on. Having said that, for this Sideshow premium format statue Riddler, with its design, the build, the concept, the paint job, and the price that I got it for, I am going to give it a grade of... I wanted to give it a 9.1, but looking at it again, I can't unsee the ashy, desaturated paint on the Riddler, so I will give it still a solid 8.9. Still a pretty good grade. It's a first, but hopefully it won't be the last Riddler we will be seeing. And you already know, it started from Penguin, then Riddler, and pretty soon, we are gonna get Man-Bat. Like I said, it is a good time to be a collector. Kinda. Thanks guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a solid and click on the like and subscribe button, or even just give me a shout at the comment section below. If you have a different grade you would want to give this Sideshow premium format statue Riddler, please let me know also in the comment section below. Thanks again everyone, this is Prof G and you just watched another episode of Graded. See you all on the next one.